starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go. Face in your face. Face in your face.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Uncommon Sense with Jose Negron. Now, for the benefit of those of you who are not familiar with the channel or watching this channel for the first time, the reason why it is called Uncommon Sense, because here on this platform, we discuss everyday issues where we try to find logical solutions, but not everyone uses logic. So for that reason, it is called Uncommon Sense. I want to let everybody know that I'm currently live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. I also want to let everybody know that the subscriber note has been enabled for the first 5 minutes. Meaning, if you're not a subscriber and if you wish to enter a comment in the chat, you will need to be a subscriber for at least 5 minutes. I also have another YouTube channel, a much smaller channel, called Latina Diaspora, where I discuss issues pertaining to Latinos, particularly Latinos living in the United States. As always, I want to give a huge shout out to all those who have already subscribed to the channel. Whether it be from the beginning or just recently joined. I really appreciate all the love and all support that you have given me. I also want to give a huge shout out to all those who follow me on social media, especially when it comes to Instagram and TikTok. Your continued support really touches my heart. Also want to give a huge shout out to all those who allow me to enter into your devices, and all those who watch from the clouds, aiming to hate us. So, what I'm going to ask you to do is the following, if you have not done so. I'm going to ask you to subscribe, like, and set the bell notification to all. So, therefore, whenever I do produce content, you will have the opportunity to catch it live or catch it on the playback. So tonight, as you can see here, the topic for tonight is copyright infringement. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to define what it is, how does it occur, and what you can do whenever anyone does use your content, use your images, or use your video without your consent. But before we get into the main topic, we're going to have another episode of In My Words. Of course, now everyone is fully aware that Joe Biden has ended his campaign to continue functioning as president of the United States. First of all, I do respect his decision. The fact of the matter is, he had a very poor performance in the presidential debate. And also, it was clear to many people that his cognitive skills has declined. Okay. And I give him a great deal of respect. The fact that he chose to step down from his goal to continue as president. Okay, it's not easy when you are the so-called leader of the free will, and then and then you decide to to end your campaign and step down. Okay, it takes a great deal of respect and a great deal of courage to do such a thing. Okay, but in all fairness, in my opinion, it was the appropriate decision for him to make. And of course, he hasn't chosen to endorse Kamala Harris, which in order for her to become president. Now, of course, one thing we have to understand that the Democratic National Convention is next month. I know there are some Democrats who wish to have an open convention and that anyone and everyone should have the opportunity to state their case. Now, in all fairness, I've never been a great fan of Kamala Harris, but what I will say this much is that, first of all, she is younger. Okay, she is currently 59 years old. Okay. Also, she's going to have to make a case first with her fellow Democrats regarding why she should become president, and then make a case to the American people. Now, apparently, Donald Trump is scared with the process that Kamala Harris will become the standard bearer for the Democratic Party. So much for that he's going to try to block her becoming the Democratic standard bearer. I wonder why. Could it be that Donald Trump fears a strong woman? Now, again, I not a big fan of Kamala Harris, but I think she should be given the opportunity to run and stake her case to the American public. And should she become president, she will make history. Okay? First of all, let me make this perfectly clear. She's not black. She's a woman of color. Okay? Her father's black and her mother's Indian, which technically makes her Blasian. However, she will create history in becoming the first lady to become president. Also, the first Blasian to be president, and the first woman of color. So that's something these are major achievements. Okay. And of course, being the first one of anything, there's always challenges. Okay. John Kennedy had these challenges being the first Catholic to be president, because there were concerns that he would take his direction from the Vatican. Okay. And there was concern regarding Barack Obama when he was running for president, and he became the first male of color to be president. Okay. I think history will judge how these two men, have functioned as president. Okay. Unfortunately, Kennedy was assassinated and did not complete his first term. And Obama, well, he has his detractors. However, he did create and put into law the Affordable Care Act, which was a means to provide medical coverage for millions of Americans who did not have it before. So, and with all the attempts that to do away with the Affordable Care Act, it's still in play. Is it perfect? No. But you don't destroy a plan. What you do is you try to fix, you know, the flaws. I mean, the goal is notable. The goal is, is to provide medical coverage for all Americans. This, regardless of their income. And we have to understand that medical care is a right, not a privilege. So we shall wait and see. I think it's going to be very interesting, um, whether or not Donald Trump is going to try to, prevent any debates. Um, I have a feeling that Kamala Harris will take into task for all the times they try not to answer the questions and try to lie. So it would be very interesting indeed. Now, as far as who to endorse, okay, I'm going to make this perfectly clear. I'm going to leave it up to you to make that decision. Okay. One thing I will say about the uncommon folk is that the uncommon folk is very wise, is very intelligent. And what I will say to you is to do your due diligence, do research regarding these candidates, and then based on what you are able to gather as far as information, you decide which one of these two to endorse. So we shall wait and see. And of course, when um, the Democratic Party has its convention, I will give you my observations as well. One thing I want to make it note of that I'm trying something new this week. So tonight's stream, tomorrow's stream, and Thursday's stream will be held at 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I'll see whether I can get more of an audience. I will have a stream on my other channel Wednesday night at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So, and a shout out to all those who watch from the clouds. Now, with that being said, we're going to get into the main topic. So, as you can tell by the thumbnail, tonight's topic is copyright infringement. And one of the things that is very troublesome for anyone that creates content on any social platform, whether it be Facebook, whether it be YouTube, whether it be Twitter, whether it be Instagram, TikTok, okay, is the fact that we devote a good portion of our time creating content, okay? Content that we hope that our audience will enjoy, that our audiences will get satisfaction. Now, there are some people that will attempt to use other people's content without their permission. Okay, excuse me, just give me a moment. Good evening, Irby. Thank you very much for stopping by. Tonight's topic is copyright infringement. Now, let me just give you, and using a biblical term, the genesis regarding the situation. Is that lately there have been people, whether but particularly on YouTube and Twitter, otherwise known as X, that they have been loading using other people's content without their permission, and then using that content to slander, to tell lies, to paint a false narrative, um, not just of myself, but other people as well. Okay. This is unfortunately something that we have to deal with from time to time. But there are things that we can do that whenever anyone decides to use our content without our permission. Now, let me make this perfectly clear when it comes to my content. If it's people that I generally know that support my content and wish to share my content on their platforms, I don't have a problem. And it's reciprocal. I mean, whether it be content from Gigi, Multi, Kesha, Anamando, the intro of Barriqua, or even Denise, whatever. What we would do is that we would share each other's content on our respective community tabs in order for our audiences to check out the content and to get some entertainment or knowledge. Okay. It's one thing if you are someone that actively supports this channel and wish to share my content, that's fine. It's another thing when you are not a supporter, but basically you are one of my ops and you decide to use my content or use the content of any of the other people that I support to slander, to lie, to spread falsehoods. That's another thing altogether. Okay. And actually, that was the motivation for me to discuss tonight's topic. Now, before I continue, let me just state for the record that the link to join the panel has been pinned. Should anyone wishes to join the panel and express an opinion regarding the topic I'm discussing, they may do so. Let me make this perfectly clear, as I always state. If I've never seen you before, if I never heard from you, I will insist that you come up in the backstage to make sure that you're not going to flash anything inappropriate, which will cause the people of YouTube to take down their stream. I'm not saying that you have to cam up if I know you. Some people choose to cam up, others people don't. That's not an issue. My issue is if it's someone that I have no knowledge about or I've never seen before, I will insist that you come up in the backstage before I let you on the panel. Okay. Because unfortunately, there have been people who try to flash inappropriate content for whatever sick reason. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen. My screen. Just give me a moment. Okay, let's see. Just give me a moment because okay, let's see. Just bear with me, folks. So I came across an article called Tips for Avoiding Copyright Infringement. Okay. And this is information that you as a YouTube creator or any type of creator need to know. Okay. Now, this article is written March of last year. So let me just share. Okay. Although avoiding copyright infringement might seem straightforward for companies, brand, artists, and creators, there's a lot of hidden pitfalls in copyright law that, if you're not careful, could result in an infringement on someone else's intellectual property, even without you knowing it. While it is necessary to familiarize yourself with every aspect of copyright protection, there is a few useful tips to avoid copyright infringement, which anyone can follow, and in most cases can help you steer clear from infringement claims. Now, this is the definition of copyright infringement. Copyright infringement occurs when someone uses, copies, displays, repurposes, or otherwise recreates someone else's original creative work without obtaining permission of the copyright owner. Some of the more common forms of copyright infringements include refusing copyright design or images on a website or social media, copying or performing musical artists' original songs, showing of or online posting of copyright films or videos or a portion of clips of them, copying a literary or artistic work without permission or a license agreement, selling merchandise featuring copyright design, words, or images. Most of these, although intellectual property violations might seem fairly obvious and are known as primary infringement. However, under copyright law, you can also be guilty of what's called secondary infringement. Examples of this include the following: adding your original material to copyright content, receiving copyright material from someone other than the copyright owner, consuming a copyright work being displayed without the owner's permission, watching other people's using copyrighted content. One misconception that it's okay to reuse copyright content if you add the disclaimers such as, I am not the copyright owner or don't have rights to this. Unless you are the original creator, gave express permission, you may be liable for copyright infringement. Let's see. Okay. Now we're going to talk about understand what copyright laws protect. And the original creative works, including images, designs, music videos, films, architectural plans, recording speeches, etc., automatically receive copyright protection. There are exceptions such as fair use, public domain, or creator consents, but generally speaking, all creative work receive automatic protection at the moment of their creation. So here's some things to avoid doing. Do not copy anything. If you did not create, buy, or license the material you are reusing, you may be liable for copyright infringement. The internet is particularly and especially treacherous minefield for intellectual property rights. Just because you find something for free online doesn't mean you have the right to reuse it or reproduce it. Even reposting someone else's original work with the attribution of your own website or social media profile can be considered infringement. Do not use any content without consent. Since all original content is protected under copyright laws unless otherwise indicated, a good practice is not to reuse anything unless you get the owner's consent or unless you're absolutely sure they have been granted permission for others to reuse their work, or intellectual property clearly falls under the public domain or fair use doctrine. This should be explicitly recorded with written documentation being the gold standard for consent. Create unique content. The easiest way to avoid copyright infringement is by creating your own original content, 100% from the ground up, without copying any specific aspects of anyone else's work. Inspiration is one thing, and copyright law is written with plenty of consideration for drawing on outside influences. We do not directly copy other original works. Document your own process to help counter any frivolous infringement claims or to show that any accident copying of protected material was done without malicious intent. Always get written copyright agreements. If you're using copyright work with permission, it is essential that any usage or license agreement is being drawn in writing. An oral agreement has little chance of holding up in court. Good evening, Donna Armando. Thank you very much for stopping by. The topic for tonight is copyright infringement. And, and I understand that you have been the victim of such a situation as well. Remember, copyright doesn't apply to just other people's creations. It applies to your own work as well. Your original creative work is your intellectual property, and you are the only one with exclusive rights to it, reproduce, publish, and license it to other people or entities. Just as illegal for someone else to copy your work without permission as it would be for you to copy theirs. Yep, I understand. Now we're going to be talking about what are possible penalties for copyright infringement. Much like patents or trademark, you may register copyright with the U.S. Copyright Office, but it will be up to you to enforce your rights. The first step in the case is possible infringement, typically for the copyright owner to send a copyright infringement notice to the offending party. If the notice is unsuccessful, the copyright owner may proceed with a civil lawsuit against the infringer, as long as the copyright owner has copyright registration. Now, these are the penalties that can occur, okay? Damages and profits lost as a result of infringement. Statutory damages ranging from $750 to $3,000 per infringed work, and up to $150,000 in case of intentional or willful infringement. Attorney's fees and costs, criminal penalties up to $250,000 in fines per offense, and up to 5 years in prison. Now, I'm going to park it here. Okay. So as you can see here, that is the clear definition of copyright infringement. Okay. Now there are some content creators. What they will do is that they will automatically give their consent for their content to be shared. Okay. So generally, what I try to do is that when I do share other people's content, it is usually content where the content creator has given express consent. Okay. Other times, what I will do is that I will reach out to the content creator and I will ask permission to air their content, whether it be their content in its entirety or maybe a portion of it. Okay. Now there are certain creators where we have reciprocal agreements where we share each other's content. Okay. I'm just going to educate with you who are those individuals that we have reciprocal agreements to share each other's content. Golden Goddess, Motivation Movement, Georgia, Keisha with her platforms, Introvert Boricua, and even Latin Splaining. Okay. So I don't have to worry about getting a copyright strike with these individuals because it is understood that we're going to share each other's content for to try to get the content well known as much as possible. However, if there's anyone that I do not know, that I do not give consent, that low images, low my whether it be my images or my content, without my explicit consent, I will report it to the platform. Now, I have had the situation where I had to report someone, which I'm not going to state, but those of us in the chat know who I'm talking about, have um, had posted content without our consent. Without our consent, I have been the victim of people posting my content without my permission, and other people as well. And unfortunately, there are certain individuals that will use my content to try to paint a negative narrative, not just on me, but other people for reasons that I do not know, and frankly, I don't care because I don't wish to know the why. Okay. Now, should should you do find that other people are using your content without your permission, you do have the right to report it to the various platforms, whether it be YouTube, whether it be Twitter, whether it be Instagram, whether it be TikTok or whatever. So, and unfortunately, you have individuals that will post uh, your images um, for the purpose of cyberbullying, for the purpose of harassment. Why? I do not know. Unfortunately, it's a reality that we have certain individuals that have whatever issues, whatever trauma, and their way of dealing with the trauma is to harass certain creators. Okay, particularly if they have never said anything explicitly. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just give me a moment. I'm going to share another article. The link to join the panel has been pinned. Okay. So, and a huge shout out to the people watching the stream. I hope, you know, if you have not done so, hit the like button. It doesn't cost you anything. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen. Just give me a moment. So just bear with me. Okay. Now, again, this is the definition of copyright infringement. Okay. And I'm just going to read to you what it is. Copyright infringement is an unauthorized or prohibited use of works covered by copyright laws, such as the right to copy, reproduce, or produce a derivative work. The term piracy is almost commonly used, often pejoratively, to refer to copies of work without the consent of the copyright holder. Computer scientist Richard Stallman and intellectual property expert Eduardo Salman, among others, argued that the use of the term piracy to refer to unauthorized copy is an exaggeration that seeks to equate the act of sharing with violence of ship pirates, criminalizing their users. The Free Software Foundation includes meaning of the term in its list of expressions to avoid terms of copyright. Now, I'm not going to read all this, but these are certain copyright laws. Okay. However, I will share with you um, this paragraph regarding the United States. The United States is the leading country in terms of the prosecution of copyright infringers, with very aggressive legislation in this regard. The Priority Watch List is produced annually here, a report written by main associates of producers and publishers and sent to the U.S. Department of Commerce to put pressure on countries that, in their opinion, do not sufficiently respect copyright in that country. Products directly or indirectly related to intellectual property account for about 35% of the United States GDP. Okay. So, let's see. So let me just give you good evening, DD Juju. Oh, before I forget, let me just state that DD Juju and Don Armando have their YouTube channels. So what I'm going to ask you to do is to take a look at their content and subscribe to their channels. Okay. So let me just give you a little historical background when it comes to copyright infringement. Copyright is a system that dates back to the 18th century. However, long before this and since the origin of humanity, there have been free culture, which is a school of thought that promotes freedom in the distribution and modification of creative works based on the principle of free content to distribute or modify creative works and works using the internet as well as other means. To do this, they share and distribute works in the public domain. In addition, creating artistic works with copyleft and Creative Commons licenses. And this computer program environments, they use free licenses such as GRP or Apache. You're quite welcome, DD2. In this way, much of this information in books, movies, and computer programs that are shared in the network, whether in peer-to-peer networks or hosted in network, are completely legal and distributed and redistributed is encouraged freely and free of charge, since they're objected and in the exchanges of no copyright is violated because they do not exist. So I'm going to park it here. Okay. So that kind of gives you some more definition regarding copyright. And okay. Now, one thing again, like I said before, it could be quite discouraging that you take the time and the energy to create your content, whatever it is. And people use your content without your permission, okay? Or even worse, in the case of some people that I know, use your content to try to bully people, okay? But unfortunately, it is a reality that not everyone on YouTube is mentally well. You do have individuals who derive pleasure of trying to cyberbully, are trying to use your content to demean, put down, and what have you. Now, there are recourses that you can take. Okay. Okay. One thing you should try to avoid doing is getting into an argument with these people. First of all, it does not help you. And basically, what that does, you are enabling their behavior to continue. Okay. And I've seen it where other YouTube creators have gone back and forth with these people, and what it does, it does enable them to continue and even to dox people. So the best thing to do is that when people use your content without your permission, is to report them. That's the best thing to do. Okay. Okay. Now let me. What I'm gonna do? Just give me a moment. I'm gonna see. Just bear with me. Okay. Just give me a moment. Okay. No, that's not what I want. Okay. Just bear with me for a moment. Uh, okay. Okay. So I'm gonna share something. This is fun. This is coming from the guidelines on YouTube. Okay. So just bear with me. Okay. Okay. So YouTube has community guidelines. Okay. Of which cover a wide assortment of topics, such as fake engagement, impersonation, external links, spam or deceptive scams, playlists. Okay. It also covers things as harassment and cyberbullying, harmful or dangerous content, violent or criminal organizations. Okay, so and also it covers content as well, such as child safety, thumbnails, nudity or sexual content. I'm going to say self deletion and self harm, vulgar language. Okay, so these are the guidelines. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop sharing, and I'm just going to focus on. Let's see. Just give me a moment. So now I'm going to focus on cyberbullying. Now, the reason why I'm going to talk about it because sometimes there are people that load your content without your consent for the purpose of cyberbullying. So just give me a moment as I try to share this. So as you can see here, this is coming out of YouTube community guidelines when it comes to cyberbullying. Okay, there is a video. I'm going to show the video. Okay, and just to illustrate what I'm discussing. Just bear with me. Unfortunately, okay. Now here, now this is what the policy means to you. Do not post content on YouTube if it fits any of the description noted below. Content that contains prolonged insults or slurs based on someone else's intrinsic attributes. These attributes include their protected group status, physical attributes, or their status as a survivor of SA, non-consensual intimate imagery, distribution, domestic abuse, child abuse, or more. Content uploaded with the intent to shame, deceive, or insult a minor. This includes intending to make a minor feel unpleasant emotions like distress, shame, or worthlessness, intending to trick them to behave in ways that may harm them or their property or engage in name calling towards them. A minor is someone under the age of 18. Other type of content that violates the policy. This includes videos, video descriptions, comments, live streams, and any other YouTube product or feature. Keep in mind that this is in the complete list. Note that these policies also apply to external links in your content. This include clickable URLs, verbal directing users to other sites in video and other forms. Now, there are certain exceptions to these guidelines, which debates related to high-profile officials or leaders, content featuring debates or discussions of topical issues concerning individuals who have positions of power, like high-profile government officials or CEOs and major multinational corporations. Scripted performances, insults made in the content of artistic meetings, such as scripted satire, stand-up comedy, or music, such as diss track. Note, this exception does not to pass harassment someone and claim I was joking. Harassment, educational, or awareness content that features actual or simulated harassment for the documented purpose or the willing participants, such as actors, to combat cyberbullying or raise awareness. Now, these are some of the penalties for violating the community guidelines. Repeated encouragement of use of audience behavior, repeated targets, insults, and abuses identical into are based on the intrinsic attributes across several uploads, expose an individual to risk of physical harm based on the local or social political content, creates content that harms the YouTube community by facilitating inciting hostility between creators for personal financial gain. And these are some of the examples which are not allowed on YouTube, which has to do with description, has to do with talking people about the protected group, targeting an individual and making claims that they're involved in human trafficking in the context of harmful conspiracy theory, where the conspiracy is linked to a direct threat. Using extreme or to demonize individual based on their intrinsic attributes, such as, look at the dog of a woman. She's not even a human being. Targeting an individual expressing a wish for their deletion or serious injury, depicting of an identifiable individual being deleted or seriously injured. Okay. Well, these are the consequences. Excuse me. For those who violate the policy. If your content violates the policy, we will remove the content and send you an email to let you know. If we can't verify the link of your post is safe, we may remove the link. Note that violent URLs are posted with the video itself on the video may result in video being removed. If this is your first time violating our community guidelines, you'll be lucky to get a warning with no penalty to your channel. You will have the chance to take policy training to allow warning to expire after 90 days. The 90-day period starts when the training is completed, not when the warning is issued. However, if the same policy is violated within the 90-day window, the warning will not expire and the channel will be given a strike. If you violate a different policy after completing the training, you will get another warning. If you get 3 strikes within 90 days, your channel will be terminated. Okay. We may terminate your channel or account for repeated violations of community guidelines or terms of service. We may also terminate your channel or account after a single case of severe abuse or where the channel is dedicated to a violate policy. We may prevent repeat offenders from taking policy training in the future. And we're going to park it here. So as you can see, there are consequences for violating the community guidelines, particularly when it comes to loading others. There's also other similar penalties as it regards to Twitter or any other platform. Now, I have been talking for almost an hour. So, if anyone wishes to hit the link and join the panel and express their point of view in regards to the topic, by all means, they can do so. Okay. Again, let me just state, if I never seen you before or heard from you before, I will insist that you come up on the backstage to make sure that you don't flash anything inappropriate, which will cause YouTube to take down the stream. And of course, you are also welcome to enter any further comments in the chat. If no one wishes to join the panel or if no one wishes to add any further comments, I will end the stream and then I will just call it a night. Okay. Now, lately, there's been an individual that's been constantly posting not only my content, but the content of other people without their consent. So what I have been doing is that I have been reporting it, not just here on YouTube, but also on other platforms, because there is a principle behind. Okay, and the principle is this: you cannot use other people's content without their permission, number one. And you cannot use other people's content for the purposes of harassment or the purposes of cyberbullying. Okay. Now, again, under no circumstances should you engage with these individuals directly. What you should do is the following. Whenever you see anyone, and I repeat, anyone that uses your content without your consent, or uses your content without your consent with the purposes of cyberbullying, report them immediately. Okay. And I stated, and as you can see, the consequences is you could be hit with a kinetic strike, and if you keep doing it, your channel can be deleted. Okay. Because I don't know about you, but I look at YouTube or Twitter as recreation to create content which I hope that you will enjoy, or content where I'm sharing knowledge where hopefully you will gain some sort of benefit. Okay, that is my purpose as a YouTube creator. Now there are other people who have channels for other reasons. Okay, some of them to get because they have beefs with other people to create budget material. That is not my place to police how they do. Each individual has the right to create their content and do whatever that they see fit. Okay? As long as you use your own content. However, if you take it upon yourself to upload other people's content without permission of the creator, it is your duty and it is your right to report it to the platform. Okay? Because if you fail to do so, what's going to happen is these individuals are going to continue to use your content without your permission and use your content to bully others And what I might do is you might encourage other people to do likewise. Okay. So the best way to deal with someone who uses your content without your permission is to report it to the various platforms. Okay. And then hopefully, whether it be YouTube, whether it be Twitter, whether it be Instagram, and what have you, they'll do diligence and they will remove the content. Okay. And again, if they continue to do so, they can lose their channels. Okay. So I have been, excuse me, I have been talking for an hour. Okay. So, so what I will do is I will discuss further regarding the other topics, um, which I will be sharing this week. Now, tomorrow night, I'm going to be doing a reaction video with this young lady who has appeared on TikTok, um, loading various videos talking about that she is a single mom, that she has 7 children by 7 different baby daddies, and that she gets $3,000 a month in food stamp benefits, and she became a single mom at 14. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to give my reaction. Now, in this case, the YouTube creator that we're going to share has given her express consent to share. However, what I'm going to do, even though she has given her express permission to share, I will be stopping at several points to give you my commentary regarding the video. Okay. And among the commentary I'm going to have is, first of all, regarding the fact that she became a single mom. Good evening, April Showers. Thank you very much for stopping by. The topic for tonight is copyright infringement. Okay. And the reason why I'm discussing it is because the fact that unfortunately you have individuals that use their content without the express permission of the creator, and also use the content to cyberbully other people. Okay, this is something that's been happening to myself and other people that I know of. And what's been my response is not to engage with these individuals, but to report them to the various platforms, whether it be YouTube, Twitter, or any other platform. Okay, that's how I do it. Because the problem is when you engage directly with these individuals, what happens is you enable them to continue. And what it does, it encourages other people to do the same. Okay. So that's been my approach. And I would encourage anyone that's dealing with a situation that someone is loading, using your content without your express permission to report. Okay. And keep reporting until the platform takes corrective action. Corrective action meaning that striking down their use of the images, and if they keep doing it, um, to delete their channels permanently. Okay, and we have seen um, channels that their channels have been deleted for violation of community guidelines, mainly using other people's content without their permission. So I don't know if you want to hit the link and express your opinion regarding the topic, okay? But that is something, so that's been my approach in dealing with these people, okay? And furthermore, I've been here in these YouTube streets for 3 years. At this point, those who are familiar about me and familiar how I function know what I do. Okay, I generally do not try to cause problems. I just try to get along with everyone. I allow people to come to the platform to share their point of view, and if by any chance that we disagree, that's fine. I have no problem. I believe that we can learn through disagreements. All I ask is that you be agreeable when we disagree. And all I ask when it comes to people who join the platform, let's be mutually respectful. In other words, let's respect each one's point of view. Okay, let's respect everyone's beliefs. Okay, because I don't censor people here on this platform. All I ask is people be mutually respectful. That's all I ask. So, like I said before, tomorrow I will be doing a reaction video regarding this young lady who has 7 kids by 7 different baby daddies, who became a single mom at 14. Okay. If it's sad that we have individuals that try to get on social media to highlight their conduct, so to speak. And unfortunately, what it does, it tends to paint um, black women in the same light. And I just want to state there's good and bad in every community. I know there's a lot of black women who are great, who are awesome, that are responsible, and things of that nature. Unfortunately, what happens is, as always, we get a few people who are rotten apples. They get more attention than the responsible black women that are out there. Okay. And as you may or may not recall, I actually did a stream to discuss the news regarding black women as a form to try to educate and let people to understand that not all of them are the same. Okay, you have good and bad in every community. That's something that we all have to deal with. Okay, and I've never been the one to paint everyone in the same community with the same brush. Okay, I don't think it's appropriate. I don't think it's fair. Okay, you cannot judge the entire community based on the conduct of one or two bad apples. Exactly, Irving. There is good and bad in every community. Okay, and that's how I always look at it. Okay, and that's how I approach it. Okay, just because I have a bad experience with one or two people from a specific community does not mean I'm going to to consider everyone in the community to be the same. That's not being fair. Okay. And that's basically painting a broad brush on everyone. So tomorrow I'm going to be talking about that young lady with the 7 kids, with 7 baby daddies, who gets $3,000 a month of food stamps. That'll be on Tuesday night at 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. On Wednesday, um, on my other channel, which is Latina Diaspora, I'm going to have what's called open discussion. Now, for those of you who are not familiar, when it comes to open discussion, I talk about multiple topics and I share my point of view regarding each topic. And of course, the audience will have the opportunity to express their point of view regarding each topic. Also, if the audience has something that they want me to talk about, I will do my best to discuss it. Okay. And then on Thursday, um, I will be talking about Kamala Harris, who she is, her background, and just to share her general information regarding her. Okay. And most likely, she's going to be the Democrat standard bearer um, regarding this year's election. I'm not going to be making any judgments regarding what type of person she is. I'm just simply going to give you some background information regarding Kamala Harris. Okay. Because the fact of the matter is, there are some people that know about her, and then there are others that don't. So hopefully, I can share some light um, regarding Kamala Harris. And again, the whole purpose is not to cash any judgment regarding whether she's a great person, bad person. No. I'm just basically going to share information regarding that. Okay. And just as a brief update regarding my health, I have been recovering. Okay. And my knee is strongly getting stronger. The range is still increasing. Now I'm able to walk a short distance with the aid of a cane. If I have to walk a considerable distance, like say several blocks, I have been instructed to use my walker, so therefore, if I do tire, I can at least sit down and rest one. Okay. So it looks like no one else is going to hit the link and no one else has any further comments. So I will start to wrap this up. And I'm just going to give you my final take when it comes to copyright infringement. It is something that does exist, it's something that occurs. Okay. However, there is a correct way to deal with it. And the correct way is not to engage with these individuals, but to report them to the various platforms for copyright infringement. Okay. And I would suggest that you don't just do it once, that you do it every time that you see someone using someone else's content without their consent. Whether it be your content or whether it be the content of other people. Myself, for my part, I will continue to report every time someone else uses my content without my permission, specifically in an attempt to cyberbully me or cyberbully anyone else. And I will do the same thing to any other um, of my fellow YouTube creators as well. Why I'm doing it? Because we need to deal with that situation. We need to deal with it. And that's the most effective way to deal with someone who uses your content without your permission and to cyberbully. Again, let me clarify something. If you have been an active supporter of my channel, I have no problem with anyone sharing my content. And of course, I will reciprocate and do likewise. So, with that being said, I thank you very much for your attention. I thank you very much for viewing the stream, whether it be live or on the playback. And of course, all of you are more than welcome to leave a comment after the stream is over. Let me make it perfectly clear. If you're going to put down nasty comments, it's going to be deleted. It is that simple. Okay. And of course, I will end this by stating the obvious. We must do everything possible to avoid the presence of the mentally and intellectually challenged, because if we fail to do so, we will be infected by their stupidity and massive insanity. This has been another episode of Uncommon Sense with Hossein Ignon, and I wish like to wish all of you a very wonderful good night. Take care and peace.